The Children's Advocacy Center works with children who've been abused, and that can be sexual abuse, severe physical abuse, children who've been trafficked or witnessed a violent crime in our community. And they come here through law enforcement or CPS, who are our partners, to tell that story. And it's important that they have a place where they can go and they feel welcome and they know that they can tell their story to someone who they can trust and that they'll be taken care of. It's very important that the children come to a child-friendly center. And we had a great facility before, but it was small. It was not as bright as this one is, but we worked to make it very child-friendly. But it became very apparent that we were outgrowing, as our programs grew, we were outgrowing that facility, and we needed to move to something larger. And if we were going to move to something larger, we wanted someone who could vision with us and help us create the perfect atmosphere as well as we could. And that's when we first met Max Slicker. And we talked to Max about that possibility, and he began to envision that with us. And then we realized that wasn't going to be quite large enough, so he envisioned more of an expansion. But we soon realized that we were going to have to move to a new location. So Max stayed with us throughout the whole process. We looked at 2 other places, and he gave us ideas and envisioned what it could be. And then we were so very fortunate to find this building. And then Max could just use all of that historical data, all the knowledge he knew, and his passion for what we do here at the Children's Advocacy Center to create the perfect atmosphere for our kids. So Max talked to us about exactly what we do, exactly what our programs are, but he also talked about what will your programs look like in the future and what might you need going forward. Because we knew if we were going to make this kind of substantial investment in property, then we wanted it to be property that we would be using for many years. And so we talked about that. He really wanted to understand every facet of every program and understand where children were going to be, where offices were going to be, what needed to be soundproof more than what maybe didn't need to be soundproofed. Where do we need meeting places? How big did those meeting spaces need to be? What kind of facility did our staff need for staff lunches? And everything that we maybe would not have ever thought of. Max asked us questions to bring that out. So we had a great builder, and we had a great relationship with him going in, but we also had a great architect, and we had a great relationship with him going in, and they got along really well. Max was always the one who understood what we were trying to achieve because he had been with us for so many years, and he had spent so much time learning our business and getting to know us and what was important and what was necessary and what was needed for us. So we had an incredible team working together. They took it very seriously. Builder, architect, everyone took it very seriously, which we very much appreciated because they understood the seriousness of what happens in this building. Because the most exciting part was when children would walk in and see this new facility. The lobby, when you walk in, it's so vast and so tall, but Max wanted something that would bring that ceiling down, and so we put pinwheels, which is the national symbol for child abuse awareness, but he designed pinwheels that could hang from the ceiling and kind of bring that down to a child's level, and children love them. One of my greatest joys is to stand from my window looking over into the 4th floor, up from the 4th floor down into the lobby, and see children twirling around in that big lobby and just enjoying themselves and loving the space that they're in. Each area of the building, whether it's medical or forensic interview or therapy, has a waiting area specially designed for the children. And they have so much fun in those areas when they're here for a long time. There are games for them to play, there are toys for them to play with. It truly is a child's place. Before we moved in, we brought every staff member over to the facility to see it because they'd been hearing about it and seeing pictures, but they hadn't actually been in the building. And we stood on the 2nd floor in the lobby looking out over the first floor, and one of our employees just broke down. She was crying, and she said, "This is so important for children." The children, she was an interviewer, forensic interviewer. She said, "This is so important for them to come and to see what our community thinks is important, them. That they put the funding and the resources behind it is incredible, and I believe they'll feel it when they come in the door." I don't believe that we could have walked into a building that looks like this if we had not had a trust relationship with Max. That was built over the time that we spent together. It was also built over his commitment to us as his client. This was an important build for our community, and we had to trust Max and the team, Shalene, everyone who was working on it, that they knew how important it was. And I'm sure that's true of anyone who's doing a renovation or building something, but for us it was important because we represented children who needed this facility. We represented our law enforcement partners. We represented our child protective investigators, the district attorney's office, all of the people that work with us. They trusted us to have a facility that would serve children now and into the future, and we trusted Max to make that happen.